And welcome to another edition of East LA Sports Scene's production of the high school game of the week as we come to you from the campus of the Roosevelt Rough Riders located here in East Los Angeles and also affectionately called the Boyle Heights community of our city. So this should be a very, very interesting matchup. Both teams in the Eastern League. This is a conference game. The Southgate Rams come into tonight's game having defeated, or check that, is having defeated the Garfield Bulldogs by 1 point last week, 49-48, and this continues on into the Eastern League. While on the other hand, the Roosevelt Rough Riders coming off 2 losses in Eastern League play. So the overall record for both teams: Southgate 5-2, the Roosevelt Rough Riders come in at 4-3. So the most important thing is, though, this is a conference game in the Eastern League. So we're ready for the kickoff in just a moment. We hope you're going to enjoy our production of tonight's high school game of the week. The Roosevelt Rough Riders hosting the Southgate Rams. Don't go away. We're coming right back with the kickoff. The campus of the Roosevelt Rough Riders set to kick off here too. Their opponents, the Southgate Rams, here in an Eastern League matchup. Third week into the Eastern League, and here goes the kickoff. Picked up roughly at the 5-yard line by the Rams. Here comes the runner. He's going to get gang tackle there at approximately, let's call it the 25-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Southgate Rams. And Rams coming back-to-back appearances here on our high school game of the week. We're going to try and set the offense and the defense for you. And let's take a look here at the offensive lineup here for Coach Jose Casagran's Southgate Rams. Number 11, keep your eye on Ernie Arcia. And number 24, his running back, Carlos Sanchez. And flankers, look for 22, Will Lucas. Number 8, Don Del Finley. And at center, look for number 58, Jose Rodriguez. First snap of the game, belly series to his running back, finds the seam on the left side and rides it forward for a gain of about, let's call it, 5 yards here. Just underway here from Montgomery Field on the campus of Roosevelt High School. And we'll also get you some of the defenders here on Roosevelt as we proceed through this series of downs. Looks like a blitz coming from Roosevelt. Looking pass to Lucas. He found the seam, found the connection, and there's a completion, but a flag gets thrown here by the back judge on a slant post pattern. It was going in from right to left. Let's see what the official's going to call here. A completion, but also let's see a penalty that's added on here was thrown in. Okay, a block below the waist, chop block. It's going to go against the Southgate Rams. Now let's try to set the Roosevelt Rough Rider defense for you. Major penalty. It's going to bring pretty much that play back. Okay, they're going to mark it at about, let's call it the 35-yard line. Now it's back to the 30. Okay, they're going to do the math here and see if they can get things right. Okay, everybody's back in formation. Here comes the next play. It's going to be 2nd and call it 5 for Southgate. Arcia dropping back, flushed out of the pocket. It's going to air downfield. Oh, Lucas had a good shot at it. And thrown just a little bit beyond his grasp. Incomplete pass is going to bring up, let's call it 3rd down now, 3rd and 5 for Southgate. Try to give you some of the numbers here for the offensive line on Southgate. Number 52, Juan Curly Barba. Number 56, Isaac Islas. Number 58, Rodriguez. Number 54, David Lee. Number 59, Mike Morales. Trio of receivers out to the right. pursuit, and he's going to come up short of the first down. Good pursuit in there by let's call it number 9 for Roosevelt. Read that play very well. That was Miguel Montero. It's going to bring a 4th and 5. No gain on the play. See, back in punt formation. Number 3's back there for the Rough Riders. Here's a punt by Mendez. It's end over end, heading to the far sideline. Roosevelt was waiting for the punt, but everything just went across the field from him. And there's no run back, so it's going to bring up 1st and 10 for Roosevelt. Just underway here in the first period of play. 9:52 left, no score. And let's see who Coach Ricardo Cepeda sends out here on his offensive unit. Okay, there was a penalty at the end of that play. We couldn't tell from our perspective here, but 1st and 10 for the Rough Riders, and going over right tackle. Running back 34, Isaiah Cepeda. And it's going to be enough for a first down. So the first play from scrimmage for the Riders results in a first down. Rough Riders in their cardinal and gold. Handoff again to Cepeda. And this time, no gain on the play. Okay, they break the huddle, and here they come. Flankers out here to the right. Number 24 is going to be Jalen. Left is Jalen Joseph. Blitz, look. Oh, it's intercepted. Here comes Southgate heading to the sideline. And he's going to be thrown out of bounds there. Number 15, Miguel Molina. Give him credit for the interception. And it's going to put Southgate in excellent field position here at about the 44-yard line of Roosevelt. Looked like our quarterback was Andres Flores on that series of plays for the Rough Riders, and he threw an interception. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Southgate. .8:43 left in the first period. Arcia at quarterback. He's got dual backs in the lineup there with him in the backfield. Arcia looks left, has a receiver. One-on-one coverage. Breaks the tackle there. Put a couple of fakes there. Went left and right on after the grab, and then moved forward upfield for a first down. So the Southgate Rams taking advantage of an interception. Man in motion for the Rams. Arcia back to pass. Gets flushed out of the pocket. Still going. Veers to his left and still going on his feet. Down into the corner. Let's see if he'll be ridden out of bounds there. He'll be close to the touchdown or to the goal line. So Arcia on a quarterback option got flushed out of the pocket, then went straight up the middle for a big gainer. 8:17 left here in the first period. Arcia takes it, looking right, and he's got his receiver in for the touchdown. Looks like it was completed to number 22. That would be Will Lucas. He'll get credit for the first touchdown of the game, and it comes with 8:03 left. Let's see who comes in for the point after. Southgate in the lineup with their formation here. Going for two. Arcia wants to pass it. And he's got his receiver, number 1, Deontay Jenkins. So 2-point conversion is good. And that will put the score now at 8-0 in favor of Southgate. So they capitalize on the big turnover and ride it in on a 50-yard drive for their first touchdown of the game. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. Ending the kickoff. Here comes Mendez on the kick. It's going to be a line drive, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Let's see what Coach Cepeda will do here. Option, I believe, is to take it at the 35 or repeat the kickoff. Okay, the offensive unit comes onto the field for Roosevelt. Okay, and at quarterback is Flores. Hands it off to his runner, and he'll get stacked up there. Short gain on the play. Let's call it 2nd and 5. Trying to set the backfield for you. Number 34 is Isaias Cepeda. On the flankers here, the left side, number 24, Jalen Joseph. And there was a running play. And Cepeda doesn't get much yardage on the carry. Let's give him a yard on the carry. So let's call it 3rd and 4 for the Roosevelt Rough Riders in their cardinal gold, white trim there with on their shoulders. Handoff again over right tackle. Oh, check that they did punt. It's heading towards the end zone, and he picked it up. And let's see if he's going to be downed near the goal line. So on a 4th and 1, Roosevelt elected to punt and got off a very good one. Okay, 6:14 left in the first quarter. Southgate up 8-0. Southgate in white with the gray trim. Completion up there at about the 10-yard line. And then stopping, Matt Taya stopped the receiver there at the 10-yard line. Let's call it 2nd and 5 for Southgate. Southgate again coming in with a 5-2 record and 2-0 in the Eastern League. Coming off a big win over the Garfield Bulldogs in last week's encounter, 49-48. Arcia downfield, has a receiver, and it's complete to Jenkins. A big gainer down the far sideline. And that's going to put the ball at, let's call it, roughly the 41-yard line of Southgate. 1st and 10. Arcia takes the snap, rolling right. Oh, it's going to be, nearly sacked. Oh, maybe, let's see, did the ball get knocked out of his hands? Good pursuit in there by Roosevelt. Number 29 in on the stop, Giovanni Delgado. Along with number 44, Santos Rivera. Let's put it. There's a snap, Arcia. Going to air it out deep again for Lucas. So he's got it in stride at the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Let's call it. It came line of scrimmage at the 35 of Southgate, and we got a 65-yard touchdown catch and run by Jenkins, and that comes at 3:43 in the first quarter. Southgate Rams striking quickly here, 14-0, and most of the damage is coming via the air game. Arcia tries to take it in himself for a 2-point conversion. It's going to be short. So at 3:43, we're going to take a timeout here as the kickoff is coming here for Southgate going to Roosevelt. There's a whistle sounding for the kickoff. Mendez, it's a pooch kick, it's a flag already thrown on the play. It's going to be offsides against Southgate. Looks like they have to redo that. It's called a 2nd and 12 here for Roosevelt. Trailing now 14-0, still in the first period, 3 minutes and 15 seconds left. Handoff, there it goes to the running back, number 36. Frankie Cruz picks up a first down here. First time we've seen Cruz carry tonight. Outstanding runner for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Let's try to identify some of the offensive linemen here for the Riders. Flores on a crossing pattern. He's got a receiver. And he'll be brought down, let's see, close or within the 10-yard line. A good look-in pass from Flores. Let's see who the wide receivers are in for Roosevelt. Lopez out to the right, number 7. Hand off to Cruz. Went right, ducked back in left, and may have picked up a yard. It's going to be second down coming up for the Riders. Inside the red zone here, anxious to put a score up on the board here. Flores looking for a receiver. It's going to be incomplete. Throwing a little short. Pass was intended for number 14. That was Jairo Araujo. Okay, 3rd and 10 for the Riders. They have an opportunity to get a first down. Cepeda in at flanker. No, check that. He's in at running back. And there's movement on the line. Okay, illegal procedure against the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Going to move him back another 5 yards. Third and about 15 for the Riders. Flores going right. Has a receiver. Let's see, is he in? That's Araujo. Is he in for the touchdown? Oh, he's down to the 10-yard line. Excuse me on that. Check that. Completed pass down to the 10-yard line. And it's going to bring up 4th. Okay, Flores in at quarterback. He's going to roll left. Oh, brought down. Oh, he didn't have a chance to throw it. He faked the pass. But the big lineman from Southgate devoured him and brought him down there for a big loss. And that should bring up 1st and 10 for the Southgate Rams. So the defense stepping up for Coach Jose Casagrande here and denying the Riders an opportunity to score a touchdown. Okay, here's the play. Pitch coming this way to the right. Student body right here. And then a big hit put on the runner. Let's check the tackler on that for Roosevelt. Number 4, Matthew Theas. He ran the runner out of bounds. Looks like that would have been Carlos Sanchez. So they're going to mark it at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10, so he picked up 10 on that carry. 14-0 in case you're just joining us here. 14-0 in favor of the Southgate Rams here in Eastern League Conference play. Okay, they've stopped play here for a moment. Let's see where a referee in the white hat has not whistled the start of play yet. Okay, there it is. 1st and 10 from, let's call it the 30-yard line for Southgate. Arcia still going with his air game. A quick down and out intended for Lucas. Number 22 is incomplete. Clock stops with 1:53 left in the quarter. Friday Night Lights here from Roosevelt High School. There's a snap. Arcia working on his air game tonight. Has a receiver. Oh, nearly intercepted. Number 4, Diaz, with a nose for the football, was in the area, but he couldn't pick that one off. His pass fell incomplete. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 from the 30-yard line. We've seen a lot of passing plays here tonight from Southgate. And they've been successful, giving them good yardage and big gains to march themselves down for 2 scores here in the first quarter. Roosevelt looking to blitz here. Arcia over the middle. He's got Lucas again. And Lucas looks like he picked up the first down here on the slant. And the chains will move up another 10 yards for another 10 yards here. Clock stop and they move the chains. 1:39 left in the first period. Southgate 14, Roosevelt 0. Coming to you on the 20th day of October 2017 here in Boyle Heights, California, the home of the Roosevelt Rough Riders. And Arcia to his running back, Sanchez. Sanchez gets run out of bounds by number 44, the first man in to hit him. That was Santos Rivera. Knocked him out of bounds at, let's call it the 45-yard line of Southgate. But nonetheless, it's enough for a first down. So the drive is still alive. 1 minute, 11 seconds left in the quarter. 14-0 Southgate. Arcia. Possible blitz by the Riders are showing that. And Arcia has a receiver over the middle. Looks like it might be Dondale Finley. Trying to get around a group of tacklers, and he looks like he evaded them very well. He marched it all the way down, let's say, to the 10-yard line, but there's a flag that's been thrown here. And here comes Southgate knocking at the door again with 46 seconds left in the quarter. And it's a counter play from Southgate. Let's see if he's in for the touchdown. Looks like the side judge comes in with the signal, but there is a penalty that's thrown at the end of that play. In for the point after now. It's conventional kick here for the try. It's up. Looks good at it through. And it is. So that will move the score now 21-0 in favor of Southgate with 39.7 seconds left in the quarter. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. So here it's a very, very unusual situation here. After the touchdown or on that touchdown run, the Rough Riders were penalized with 2 dead ball fouls, and you add up the math, that's another 30 yards added on. So that's where they're going to be kicking off. So it's a very, very strange alignment here, formation, where you see the kickoff team in the other team's territory already. So this is a very, very unusual play. Let's keep our eye on it. We have not seen this play since we've been covering high school football. And let's see what Coach Jose Casagran has instructed his special teams here to do. There's the whistle now. We're going to be set. Here's Mendez coming up, approaches, and he's going to kick it into the end zone, or just basically practice a field goal attempt. And let's see now with the change of possession, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Roosevelt when they come out. Let's see where they spot that ball. So the Rough Riders trailing it big here in the first quarter, 21-0. They had one drive where they were very close to scoring. That was in the last possession. And there's the play there. It's going to be a running play, straight up a dive, and we have Andrew Flores in a quarterback. Last time we saw the Rough Riders in the season, it was at Westchester. And the quarterback at that time was Raymond Reynoso. So evidently there's been a change in the personnel here for Roosevelt. Flores, pitch, going right. And let's see who that is. It's Frankie Cruz, number 36. There's the ball carrier. And that will end the first quarter of play. We hear the sound here in Montgomery Field, signaling the end of the first quarter play with the score, 21-0 in favor of the Southgate Rams. We'll be back in a moment with more of East LA Sports Scene. Okay, here we go now, ready to resume action. Roosevelt Rough Riders in the Cardinal and Gold. 3rd and 9 here for the Riders. Flores rolling to his left. Oh, pass is incomplete. Finley in on the coverage. And intended for Jalen Joseph, number 24. It's going to bring up, let's call it the 4th and 9 for Roosevelt. Both teams are in the Eastern League. However, Roosevelt playing in the Division II for the season, of course, and then for playoff consideration, while, of course, Southgate Rams Division I. Fourth down, punt formation. Let's see who's back to kick. Yeah, it's going to be Cepeda. Check that. Number 6 will be kicking for Roosevelt. That's Luis Delgado. And there's a penalty here thrown by the side judge. Let's see if there's some kind of a motion against the offense or the defense. And it'll go against Southgate. Offsides. Here is the snap, the punt. He gets it away. It's going to be very, very high, but short. It takes now a Southgate bounce. And crosses midfield. It's going to settle at about the 40, let's call it 3-yard line of Southgate, where it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Rams. Let's give you a little bit of background on the Rams season. Currently ranked in the state at 334, and as we mentioned, they come in with a record of 5-2, and they have opened the season with 2 losses in a row. The first one against Eagle Rock, second against Banning, and then they started their winning ways against Jefferson, Palisades, Salesian, Bell, and then Garfield last week to give them 5 consecutive wins. So they're on a streak, and currently tied in the Eastern League standings as we go into this game. On the other hand, we have the Roosevelt Rough Riders coming in at 4-3 overall, 711 ranked in the state. And the Riders open up with 4 consecutive wins to start the season, defeating Gardena 41-6, North Hollywood 41-21, Franklin 42-35, Mendez 48-0, and then their first loss of the season came at Westchester 27-21. And then in Eastern League play, they opened up the first game against Southeast with a very, very narrow defeat at 38-35, and then last week losing at Bell 35-9. So that brings everything current for both teams. Head coach of the Roosevelt Rough Riders in his second season, Ricardo Cepeda. So the referees are waiting for the players. There's an injured player on the field here at about the 35-yard line. As the medical team attends to him, we will come back with more of our coverage of East LA Sports Scene. The game was halted because of an injury due to a player from Southgate, and it's number 10, Lucio Rodriguez. And the medical team had 2 players come out and help him back to the bench. And let's hope that he will recover from that injury. Okay, back to the action. Here we go. Arcia pitching. On the move is number 20, trying to get around the end. He's up to the 50-yard line, then he's rolled out of bounds. That would have been... Let's see, we have the wrong runner. I believe it was number 24, Carlos Sanchez. We see Southgate here with the white numbers and the gray background. Kind of difficult to pick out some of the numbers here in the pack. There's a flag was thrown on that play. That's major penalty. Looks like it may be holding. That will go against the Rams. Let's give you some of the Roosevelt Rough Riders here that are currently in on defense. On one of the ends is 78, Jose Suarez. We have a D tackle, Aldo Parral. 56 is Ruben Castillo. Number 23, Alfredo Sepulveda. Number 29, Giovanni Delgado. And a timeout's going to be taken by Southgate. We'll come back in a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene, productions of High School Game of the Week. Okay, we're back to the action. Arcia looking left on a crossing pattern. That's completed to Finley. And he is going to pick up about 10 yards on that catch. Going to move the chains up. Still going to be short of a first down. Let's call it second and about 16 here. 11 minutes and 10 seconds left in the half. Lucas to the right of Arcia. Arcia is going to change it up with an audible here. And flag is thrown. Stopping play here. And it's going to be assessed against Southgate. Okay, scoreboard reads 20-0. We mistakenly gave you 21. A lot of confusion on that touchdown, but they did not award a point after to Southgate. So the score reads 20-0. Blitz on for Roosevelt. Pass going to be incompleted. Penalty flag thrown as well at the end of the play. It's been kind of a choppy first half here in terms of rhythm. Lots of flags being thrown here by the officiating crew, and it's been affecting both sides. And it looks like they're going to call Roosevelt for the penalty for blocking the back on an incomplete pass. Major penalty. It's going to put Southgate at about the 49-yard line. Second and let's call it 5 here for the Rams. Pretty much in control of this game right now at this point. At 10:41 left in the half, 20-0. Referee in the white hat is on the other side of the field speaking with the coaching staff of Roosevelt. Let's see what we're able to gain any kind of an insight. Okay, referee has spoken to one of the coaches. He's coming back out. He's the crew chief. He's ready to signal the start of action. There's the whistle. Players are set. Arcia throws out a screen. Oh, intercepted. And it's at the 5. Touchdown Riders at 10:32. Number 29 just read the play and said, I'll take it. And that's Giovanni Delgado on a pick 6 that awakens the Roosevelt cheering section as the Rough Riders ride it in and take it in for a touchdown. Good play. And at 10:29, they are on the board. So 20-6. Let's see what Coach Cepeda does here with the point after. So big play there by the Riders. In the hole is Isaiah Cepeda, and set to attempt the point after Josue Lopez. There's a snap. The kick looks good. It's straight in. It's good. So 20-7 now with the Riders getting themselves up on the board thanks to a pick 6 by number 29, Giovanni Delgado, a defensive end, 5'90", 190-pound senior. We'll be back in the kickoff in just a moment. Okay, here comes Roosevelt now ready to kick off. Josue Lopez. This may have put a charge into the Riders. Let's see how they can play on this series of downs on defense. End over end, heading back here. And that's Jenkins on the kickoff return. And he's going to be down at about, let's call it the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Rams. And Jenkins comes up limping a little bit here on his right knee. And that could be a big loss to Coach Casagran and the Rams. Well, one of the major starters, Deontay Jenkins, coming up with a knee injury, potentially. And there's a penalty thrown at the end of that play. It's going to be marked off against Southgate. So momentum seems to be changing just slightly here in favor of the Rough Riders. Sanchez in the backfield along with Arcia, the quarterback. And some of the big linemen there for Southgate. Let's give you some of their numbers and their names. At 10:22, we're going to start the clock here for this series of downs for Southgate. There's a snap. Arcia. Oh, he gets sacked. Oh, huge play there. And again, number 29, defensive end, Giovanni Delgado stepping up his game there. He gets credit for a sack on Arcia. So his adrenaline certainly flowing at a very good pace here as he feels some extra strength due to the big play that he made on that interception. And there's a pass that's going to be incomplete, thrown out to the right side. Clock stops with 9:47 left in the half. Good defensive stand here by the Riders. Give you some of the Rough Riders that are in the game right now. Number 23, Alfredo Cepeda. Number 9, Miguel Montero. Number 4 is Matthew Tejas. And number 6, Luis Delgado. Timing pattern for Finley. Looks like he was inbounds or out of inbounds. They're going to rule him for first down. Oh, big hook up there from Arcia to his wide receiver, Dondell Finley. And he was just right at the first down marker. So the Rams gain a first down on a big hook up there between the quarterback and his wide receiver. Coverage on that play by Luis Delgado for Roosevelt. Clock's moving now with 9:25 left in the half. Blitz on for the Riders. Receiver in the far side. Oh, there's a completion. Let's see who that was made to. Looks like it might have been number 9. The jersey's a little undone there on the receiver. Was going to confirm that it was number 9 for Southgate. That was a Mark Banuelos. But he was ridden out of bounds on the tackle. Second and let's call it 3 here for the Rams. Fake pitch to Arcia. Oh, he's going to get eaten up there on the right side. Number 50 is in on the stop for Roosevelt. Big play there. Aldo Parral, one of the starters. It's going to bring up third down. And the same amount of yardage left for a first down. Third, and let's call it a long 3. Clock moving now with 8 minutes and 15 seconds left in the half. Okay, the huddle was done by committee there. The wide receivers did not go into the huddle. It's actually a no-huddle offense, but here comes the blitz. Oh, and Arcia is going to go down. Oh, big play there. Number 52 broke through the line there. That was James Gomez. He's a senior, 6 feet, 280 pounds. It's going to bring up fourth and about 8. So the Roosevelt Riders put up good defense other than the 30-yard passing play from Arcia to Finley. The last series has been all defense by the Riders. And it started with the touchdown on the pick 6 by Giovanni Delgado. And he's hopefully inspired his defensive teammates to step it up and get themselves back into the game. Back to receive for Roosevelt, number 3, Brandon Hernandez. He's in sole punt return formation. And now there's going to be a timeout taken with 7:05 left and on the field. And we'll be back with more of our coverage of the high school game of the week, Roosevelt versus Southgate. Ready to go. It's fourth down for the Rams. Coach Casagran has his offensive alignment the way he wants it, and they're going to go for it. Oh, check that. They're going to kick it. Hernandez catches it on the fly, trying to get out of bounds. And it's going to be on the far side of the field. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Riders. So the Rams punting on the 4th down play. And the Riders should put it in play roughly at about, let's call it the 23 or 24-yard line. Let's see what Coach Cepeda has in terms of strategy now to try and get the Riders within closer proximity to the Southgate Rams with 6:55 left in the half. 20-7 is our score. And in at quarterback is Raymond Reynoso, number 12. We finally see him here as giving it off to his running back. And that's Frankie Cruz. Cruz is a running back, sophomore, 5'9", 165 pounds. Reynoso is quarterback, senior, 5'10", 195, no huddle offense. So Reynoso, again, going back with Cruz on back-to-back carries, and it's just a big pile of humanity, linemen and ball carriers, all just trying to move the pile forward, as they say. Coming off that pile last for Southgate, number 20. And that would be Aiden Ruano, number 20 for Southgate. And Ruano comes out, number 54 will take his place. That's going to be David Lee for Southgate. 3rd and 3 for the Riders. Here's Reynoso to Cruz. Found a seam, and he's got enough for the 1st down. And this is a combo that we saw back in Westchester. And it was Reynoso with Cruz who did most of the work that night on offense for the Riders. Change their move, 1st and 10. Cruz powering, still going, up off tackle. And he is just putting the Riders on his back there with great sleight of hand movement there from the quarterback, Raymond Reynoso. Riders on a drive here. The clock moves with 5:35. Wide receivers off to the left. Cruz broke a tackle, still going. And there's the pile again. And it looks like there's at least 15 players in on that tackle there. Roosevelt quickly, no huddle. A series of plays has been called, and here we go. Reynoso, he's got Hernandez out to the left as a flanker. Cruz is in the backfield, number 36. And then you have Jalen Joseph, number 24, on the left side of the field as receivers. There's a snap. Reynoso airs it out down the sideline. Oh, incomplete. Going up high was Finley to try and knock it out of the hands of Hernandez, and he was successful. Incomplete pass. Clock stops with 4:40. So Raymond Reynoso airs out his fly pattern pass towards the goal line, and it was incomplete. 20-7 in favor of Southgate. Here come the Riders out of the huddle. Araujo flanked out here wide to the right. Let's see if Coach Cepeda goes with the Cruz carry. No, Reynoso has receiver in the middle. It's Hernandez breaks the tackle, still on his feet, heading towards the sideline. Oh my goodness, big post pattern there. And it's successful to Brandon Hernandez from Raymond Reynoso. And the Riders knocking on the door of scoring opportunity here, trying to close that lead and make it within a manageable distance for them. Snap. Cruz powers right. And he followed his blockers. Let's see how close did he get towards the goal line. Clock is moving now with 4:13 left in the half. And Roosevelt threatening now for another score. Cepeda checks in, number 34. Number 7 is Ethan Lopez, wide receiver to the right. Reynoso trying to cap this drive off with a touchdown. Pitches, and it looks like Cruz dives in. Oh, check that. They're going to say a pitch to Isaias Cepeda. He's going to be just about marked at the 1 yard line. It's very difficult to tell from our angle. Clock moving out of the T formation. Reynoso. He's going to try to take the quarterback sneak in. And let's see. Is there a flag thrown on that play? Let's see what the referee in the white hat will be signaling here. They're in a conference right at about the goal line. Let's see who the penalty will be assessed against. Oh, it's a touchdown. Oh, no penalty. Crew chief wanted to make sure that their signal was properly administered. And they will credit Isaias Cepeda with a 1 yard, check that, maybe a 5 yard carry. And that will move the score to 20-13. Let's see about the point after now. It's very important. Lopez in for the try. There's a snap, the kick. And it's no good. So point after does not go through, and that's going to leave the score at 20-13 in favor of the Southgate Rams. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, there is a whistle signaling both teams to get set for the kickoff, but look where the ball's going to be kicked off from, roughly at about the 45-yard line of Southgate. So this is the second time we've seen a kickoff take place in the receiving team's territory. So there was definitely a penalty tacked on to the end of that last play on the touchdown. And there's a kickoff. It's going to go straight down the middle of the field. And the Southgate returner, he's going to get jammed up. Let's give in on the stop for Roosevelt. One of the last men getting up off the pile, Cepeda, along with number 37 for Roosevelt. 1st and 10 for Southgate. The clock stopped with 3:13 left in the first half. And with the appearance of Raymond Reynoso, that seems to have sparked the Roosevelt offense. So 3:13 left, 20-13 is the score. Southgate with the ball in their own territory. Ball's marked at the 10-yard line. Here comes a pitch. And he's going to be run out of bounds right at about the yard marker. That was Sanchez with the ball on a pitch from his quarterback, Ernie Arcia. It's going to bring up second, and let's call it 10. Coming to you from the home of the Roosevelt Rough Riders. This is the third week of Eastern League play. Southgate comes in at 2-0, and Roosevelt the reverse, 0-2. 3 minutes now just left in the half. Arcia now at quarterback. There's a snap. It's coming, looking, dodging, shifting his weight. No, then he's brought down with a big tackle. Number 9 comes in. Miguel Montero finished him off. He's an outside linebacker. He's a senior, goes 5'9", 202. But Arcia on that scamper picks up about 8 yards. Let's call it 3rd and 2. And play is stopped there. Referee in the white hat signals offsides against Roosevelt. That should give the Rams a a first down based on the penalty. So 2:36 left in the half. Coming to you right from the 50-yard line on the Southgate side of the field. You see that we are extremely close to the action here with good camera shots. Very good angle on each of the plays that are on this side of the field. Arcia back in the backfield with Sanchez. Handoff, it goes to Sanchez. Over left tackle, still on his feet. Has some foot, oh my goodness, in the open field. Trying to get through to the sideline. And Sanchez is going to be stopped short of the touchdown. Rolled out of bounds, let's say within the 5-yard line. But a huge open field run there by Sanchez. Easily a 60-yard run. And Southgate now looking to put some more points up on the board. Just a blast over left tackle. And Sanchez was off to the races. Arcia now doesn't like the formation. Is going to call an audible. Now he looks towards his bench for another change in his play. He's got Sanchez in there. Arcia is going to keep it on the quarterback option. And let's see how close he is to the goal line. He's going to be short. Now the clock is still running with 1:45 left in the half. Second down and goal here for the Rams. Finley flank way out to the right for Arcia. It's one of his favorite targets. There's a snap. Arcia looks left. And it's incomplete. And that was intended for, let's see, Lucas, number 22. Providing coverage there was Matt Diaz. Or check that, Miguel Montero. Montero for Roosevelt. Incomplete pass stops the clock with 1:19. Arcia has it. Looks left again. Oh, deep in the coffin corner of the end zone for a touchdown. And this time it is another touchdown to Lucas. On a fly pattern, he just broke towards the end zone, deep in the corner. Pass was right on the money. And let's roughly call that a 5-yard touchdown pass to Will Lucas. And that will move the score to 26-13 in favor of Southgate. Let's see how they attempt the point after. Here comes Mendez ready for the try. There's a snap, the kick, and he misses. No good. So that will leave the score 26-13 with 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the half. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, ready to kick off. Here comes Mendez, approaches the ball and puts his foot into it, end over end, and ready to run it back is Hernandez. Going towards his own sideline. Oh, then he's met and dropped. Finley in on the tackle, the first man to hit him. But Hernandez had built up a lot of speed as he went from his right to his left. And with 1 minute and 1 second left, it'll be Roosevelt's ball here. First and 10, let's call it roughly from their own, roughly 30-yard line. Possibly the 25, but first and 10 nonetheless for the Riders. Let's see how the Riders respond to the touchdown by Southgate. Is Reynoso dropping back, airs it out to Araujo, completed. And that's a good catch by Enrique, checked it, Jairo Araujo. Jairo, Jairo, Araujo, Araujo. Time is now set at 53.1 seconds left in the half. Reynoso looking over the defense, looking at the coverage, has some time, airs it out again. It's going to be way out of bounds, intended for the same receiver, Araujo. Also in the vicinity was number 7, Ethan Lopez. So Reynoso trying to get comfortable here with some of his timing and his reps in on passes, looking for his flankers. His wideouts, and he also has the option of giving it to Frankie Cruz, his running back there, who is a very powerful runner, similar to Carlos Sanchez. Reynoso, down and out. Oh, incomplete for Araujo, right at about, let's call it the 50-yard line, right in front of our camera. Clock stops with 34 seconds left in the half. 26-13 our score here in favor of the Southgate Rams. Ball spotted at about, let's call it the 43-yard line. Beautiful evening here in East Los Angeles, California, in Boyle Heights. It's Friday Night Lights. It's autumn, it's fall, and it's football season. Bringing it to you from East LA Sports Scene Productions. Reynoso with Cruz in the backfield. Oh, Reynoso is going to get smothered. Oh, nowhere to go. Oh, punch is thrown there. We just saw that. Oh, my goodness. And let's see who it is. And he'll be ejected from the game for throwing a punch. Looks like it was number 10 right here in front of our camera. Oh, check that, number 13. Number 13 for Southgate. Just all of a sudden at the end of the play, lunged out at a player. That was Mike Ponce. And looked like the referee saw that immediately and ejected him. So Coach Casagra will have to deal with that. It's going to be a severe penalty against his player. And there will be some consequences, but that will have to be decided over the weekend. So while they referees there, you see him in the white hat. We're going to stay with the referees here as they decide how this is going to be administered. Roosevelt with the ball. It's going to be a dead ball penalty with 21 seconds left. And if it holds up to be a punch thrown and an ejection, that's going to be a major penalty to be marked off. So let's keep our eye on the crew. There you see the penalty flag, and I believe it was thrown by the crew chief, who was closest to the play. And they're talking about it in committee format. Okay. Still waiting to decide what they're going to do here. Okay, looks like they're ready to mark off the distance of the penalty. It's going to be major, so Roosevelt will have possession at around their Southgate 45-yard line. Unsportsmanlike penalty for sure, but it involved throwing of a punch, and that, again, is an ejection on its very own merit, its very own activity. So let's see what happens now with 21 seconds, what the Rough Riders can do with 1st and 10. Reynoso has it. Looking, throwing, airing it out on a pattern. That's intercepted by Finley. Finley still on his feet. Trying to pick up blockers, heading our way. Trying to get to the open field. And broke 2 or 3 tackles. And now dropped right in front of us here. on a tremendous interception. And the clock will run out on that very play. And both teams will be going to the locker rooms here. And there's Dondale Finley on a huge interception. And you see him right there talking to his players, his teammates, and they will now head towards the far end of the stadium and have their halftime break. So we'll be back after the intermission with more of East LA Sports Scene's coverage of Roosevelt versus Southgate on East LA Sports Scene's production of High School Game of the Week. Okay, halftime is over. Welcome back and get set here, ready for the second half kickoff. And here it comes by Mendez. Is going deep to Roosevelt. And it's going to be run back. And there's Cepeda still going down the sidelines. And then it's going to be knocked out of bounds right in front of the Southgate bench. But Isaiah Cepeda, give him credit for a 35, 40-yard run. Kickoff return. It's going to give Roosevelt excellent field position. And let's see where we left off here. It's now 27-13. And it's favor of Southgate. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from, let's call it just past the 40, let's call it the 45-yard line of Southgate. Down by 2 scores. Here come the Riders, and this is Reynoso at quarterback. Cruz gets the carry, and he gets rolled down after a 5-yard pickup. Frankie Cruz, the ball carrier, and the end of the first half was an electrifying interception return by Dondale Finley. He caught it deep in Roosevelt territory and brought it out to about the 40-yard line. And that ended the first half of play. But now it's Roosevelt now with the ball here in control. Cruz breaks over tackle, dragging a few tacklers with him as he picks up about 3 more yards. He's going to be close to a first down. No huddle offense for the Riders. Coach Cepeda has given his signal for the play. And there is Reynoso at quarterback, number 12. And it's Cruz again. Oh, good tackle there, but let's see, is he going to be near the first down? Check, that was a first down play. So in the previous play, they gave him credit for the first down. Sorry about our late pickup on that, but it's going to be now 2nd and 10 for the Riders. Frankie Cruz to the left of his quarterback, Reynoso. Wideouts on both sides. Quick down and in to the receiver. And that's going to be Jalen Joseph as he gets rolled out of bounds at about, let's call it the 29-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 3 for the Riders. Ball control is very important here. Possession. Cruz, big hole off right tackle, still going down to 5. Touchdown for the Riders with a 5-play drive. The Riders back on the scoreboard with 10:01 left in the 3rd quarter. So they made it look easy there on that drive. And that's going to bring the score now 27-19. In favor of Southgate. Let's see if the Roosevelt Rough Riders can add on a point after here. So roughly, let's call it a 29-yard run by Frankie Cruz. Here comes the point after by Lopez. The kick is up. It's just inside the bar. It's good. We have ourselves a 1 touchdown difference here, 27-20 in favor of Southgate. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. Teams are in for both squads. 27-20 to score. Riders trying to pick up the momentum and keep it on their side. narrowing the score just to 7 points, down by 21-0 early in the game. They've mounted several comeback attempts and have been successful. Here's a looping kickoff, and the Southgate player will down that. That's going to be number 9 for Southgate. Let's give him credit for that catch, and then he dropped. That was Mark Banuelos. So a couple of things to keep our eye on here for Southgate. Number 1, Dante Jenkins may or may not be coming back into the game due to an injury, possibly to his knee. And then number 13 was ejected from the game. That was Mike Ponce. So those two players are very, very critical for Coach Jose Casagran and his team efforts. 1st and 10 for Southgate. Arcia at the controls, out of the shotgun. Sanchez to his left. Here is Arcia, still on his feet, not going for the slide. And then he's going to be dropped and dragged out of bounds here. Finally, number 44, Santos Rivera, bulldogs him out of bounds here after a big, big quarterback option play, a keeper by Ernie Arcia, the quarterback. Good pressure was applied in there by the defensive end, but he went inside the tackler and then broke free, picked up a couple of blocks 10 yards downfield, and the rest was a foot race to the sideline. So again, both teams are showing offensive power, offensive might. But on top right now is Southgate by 7, 27-20. Lucas in motion. Here's Arcia, airs it out to the left. Does he have Lucas, one of his favorite receivers? And then he's going to be dropped in there by, let's give a credit to number 4. That was a Matthew Theus who drove him out of bounds, but not after he picked up a first down for his effort. 9 minutes and 9 seconds left in the third quarter. Shotgun. Arcia throws it on a crossing pattern. And it's Lucas again, picking up good yardage, enough for a first down. So Arcia looking for Finley and for Lucas. We had Jenkins in the game, but we're not sure if he's going to be able to return. Dante Jenkins, big, big game last week against Garfield. 8:45 left. And the Southgate Rams started this drive back at about their own 25-yard line. Arcia wants to set his linemen in motion, again to be set for the play. Arcia aims it into the, looked like there was a push-off on the play by Finley. But this looks like it may be good enough for the touchdown. Don't see any flags on the field. So roughly we're going to call it a 15-yard touchdown pass from Arcia to Finley, deep in the corner there of the end zone. Score now reads 33-20 in favor of Southgate, going for the point after. So Pedro Mendez, and there is number 1. It was Jenkins got in for the 2-point conversion, the fake point after. And there's our reply. There's the answer to our question whether Jenkins was going to come back in. And he comes in to score 2 points on the conversion. However, let's see what the referee in the white hat, he's signaling good. So that will push the score now to 35-20. And we'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. So for the kickoff and the special teams, Back to receive for Roosevelt. Cepeda, number 34, along with Hernandez, number 3, Brandon Hernandez. There's a kick. It's a line drive. Hernandez picks it up at about the 5. Has a few blockers. Tries to go inside, now outside to the sideline. And then meets a big wall of tacklers in there to stop him. First man in on the tackle. Number 18, Patrick Aguilar. So giving some of the defenders here for Southgate. 77, Sergio Armendáriz. Number 9, Mark Banuelos. Number 50, Fidel Rivas. Number 13, check that. Number 10, Lucio Rodriguez. Number 24, Carlos Sanchez, also goes on defense. Miguel Molina, number 15. Number 7, Rene Ramirez. And number 8, Dondell Finley. Here are the Roosevelt Rough Riders up at the line of scrimmage for Reynoso. Handoff, Cruz, slipping through the line and finding a hole there, big one, and churns it upfield for about 8 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 2. So Coach Cepeda, Ricardo Cepeda, in his second year at Roosevelt, has himself a very potent offensive machine here with Reynoso at quarterback and his running back, Frankie Cruz. Jalen Joseph, wide receiver out here to the left, number 24. Reynoso dropping back, is going to be taken out of the pocket. Here he comes toward us at the sideline, and it's going to be dropped at about the 47-yard line. Reynoso's first attempt here was to pass downfield, but good coverage by the Southgate Rams in the secondary. And Reynoso had no other option but to take it on his own and try to make the best out of a broken play. Now, giving some credit here to the Roosevelt Rough Riders. We'll give you some of their offensive linemen here as well as some of their starters. As we're here in the third period with 7 minutes and 16 seconds left. 35-20 in favor of Southgate. Reynoso dropping back. He has protection. Oh, then it's gone. The pocket broke down and the defenders just swarmed in on him. And a lot of pressure applied to Reynoso. It's going to bring a 4th and let's call it 12. So it's a punting situation for the Riders. Had some momentum going, but the passing plays did not materialize for the Riders. And as a result, loss of yardage big time, stalled their drive, and now they're in punt formation. There's number 6 back is Luis Delgado. He's got the snap. It's going to be a very high kick. And let's see if it's going to take a Southgate bounce, and it almost gets back to midfield. So it's going to be spotted at, let's call it the 46-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Rams. So the Rider defense is going to have to try and shut down the air attack by the Rams to stay within the scoring range. And 6 minutes, 11 seconds left in the third quarter. Again, this is an Eastern League game. Very important. Southgate Rams looking to maintain their undefeated posture at 3-0, at 2-0 now, but hopefully for them, if they go 3-0 in good position, maybe to win out and take the title of the Eastern League. But that's in the future. Right now is the present. Arcia has Lucas again, just on a quick curl pattern, and the ball is there. Good rhythm between the passer and the receiver. It's going to be a first down. So Arcia's confidence as a passer has been very, very high, and we know he also has the ability to run and pick up yardage using his blockers as he gets downfield. A lot of options that Coach Casagran can go to. Number 24, Sanchez, certainly is one of those, is a running back. Arcia dropping back. He's got Luke, check that, Jenkins again. And then he's going to be dragged down there. Number 4, Deas, give him credit for the tackle. But the first down markers are on the move for the Rams. Their offensive rhythm just continues to surface. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Players looking over to Coach Casagran on the sideline for the play call. Shotgun. Arcia dropping back again. Just on a down and in pattern. Looks like it's Finley. It's a race to the end zone. And let's see if he gets in or not. It looks like a flag may have been tossed by the back judge. However, we couldn't tell from our angle whether he had made it into the end zone or not. Injured player is going to be down on the field for Roosevelt. It looks like it's number 44, Santos Rivera, one of the linebackers for the Riders. So we'll try to sort things out here and see what the line of scrimmage will be. There's no signal for a touchdown, but we do have an injured Rough Rider on the field. So we'll be back in a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. On Southgate. Okay, we're back. Looks like the referee in the white hat has signaled a touchdown, but there's also a penalty, as we mentioned, and it may be unsportsmanlike conduct against Southgate. And Santos Rivera gets up kind of gingerly. You see him walking, running off the field, so that's a pretty good sign. But a touchdown has been ruled, and we'll move the score up to 41-20 with 5:01 left in the period. There's the referee now giving a signal. And there's the whistle now for both teams to get set for the play. Point after. Jenkins again in it as a holder, number 1. And Mendez the kicker. Both teams are ready. Here comes the snap. The kick is up. And it is good. Moving the score now to 42-20 in favor of the Southgate Rams. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, we're set now for the kickoff. Here comes Mendez. He's been a busy kicker tonight. And here comes a run up, and it's end over end. Picked up about at midfield. Roosevelt. Then the runner, the carrier is going to be brought down. Roughly, let's call it the 30-yard line. First and 10 for Roosevelt. 4:53 left in the contest. Advantage is 22 points now, 42-20 in favor of Southgate. And a penalty, most likely there's been a penalty thrown on, penalty flag thrown on that play, on the run back. And while they sort that out, we'll take a break. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, on that run back, a penalty, a major penalty assessed to the Riders. Could be a block in the back or a holding penalty, but nonetheless, Roosevelt Rough Riders not in good field position. Okay, here they come up to the line of scrimmage. Reynoso. Hernandez in the backfield. Aired out here to Hernandez. Breaks one tackle. And then is wrapped up. And that's Miguel Molina, number 15 for Southgate, bringing him down. Clock moves with 4:35. Roosevelt no huddle. Cruz, along with Hernandez, goes in motion. And handoff is to Cruz. Breaking tackle. Oh, still going. And finally brought down from behind. It was number 2 for Southgate because Frankie Cruz had built up a big head of steam. He was off to the races. So give number 2 credit for a big tackle there from Southgate. And that was Vicente Olivares. Huge first down. Big blast there by Frankie Cruz. He's got all the markings of an excellent running back. Reynoso dropping back, airs it out to the right. There's a receiver there in the area. Is that a completion? We can't really tell from here. And it's incomplete. It's going to be brought back as an incomplete pass. So Reynoso trying to thread the needle there down the right side. It was good coverage. Looked like it was Finley that was on the receiver. But the pass is incomplete. Clock stopped with 3:54 left in the contest. Check that in the third quarter. Joseph out here flanked to the left along with Hernandez. On the far right, Lopez along with Araujo. So dual receivers on both sides of the field. Cruz off of just right over the center, left guard position. He found a seam and picked up very good yardage on the carry. It's going to bring up third and about 4. Excellent camera position here for our viewers to see good high school football up close. Oh, hookup. It was Reynoso to somebody coming out of the backfield. And it was incomplete. So it's going to be 4th and 3 here for the Riders. Reynoso kind of holding his back there after that play. He might have been hit just as he threw it. Reynoso now looks over to Coach Cepeda for an audible. He puts Lopez in the slot. And now the Riders want to call a timeout and talk things over. We'll be back after the timeout in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene's coverage of the Roosevelt Rough Riders Southgate Rams in our high school game of the week, week number 9. Okay, big play here. Let's see what Coach Cepeda has called here. Riders very desperate to maintain possession. Here's a pitch to Hernandez. Oh, he's going to be stacked up. An inside pitch to Brandon Hernandez. It does not work. That's going to bring up a change of downs here for the Rams. They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own, let's call it 34-yard line. So the defense is going to come out for the Riders once again. Let's see where they spot the chains. It's called the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for Southgate. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left in the third quarter. Okay, taking some time to get into formation. And the clock is now at 3:14. Arcia over here to Lucas. Lucas puts a move and does not escape the grasp of number 27. That's Kobe Adame. Good open field tackle, but Lucas is very dangerous once he has a catch, and then he puts his speed out on the field. So Will Lucas has been very dangerous for the Southgate Rams tonight. Clock moving with 2:45 left in the third quarter. Jenkins in motion. Snap. Goes back to Jenkins. It's a foot race. Oh, good tackle. And that was Araujo. Check that, number 4. That was Matthew Diaz. And it's going to be enough for a first down. So Coach Casagran using Deontay Jenkins as a man in motion, then turns him into the receiver. And it's a successful attempt for a good gain there. And, of course, a first down as a result. Arcia still flinging, still throwing. Oh, he's going to be wrapped up. And that was number 9 on the stop, Miguel Montero. Give him credit for the tackle. So just one of the very few times tonight that we've seen Arcia sacked. But it was Miguel Montero, number 9, who gets credit for that sack of the quarterback. Loss of about 5 on the play, 2nd and 15. Clock moving now with 1:41 left in the third. And there's Arcia again trying to air it out in the flat. Look out. There's some daylight here for Sanchez. And he gets a block right there at about the 45 and then moves forward for another 6 or 7 yards. And as a result, there's another first down here right in front of the Southgate bench. Clock stopped with 1:24 left in the third. You see the team looking to the coaches for the play. And there's a set signal. Here comes the snap. Arcia wants to air it out again into the flat area. And there's just a swarm of tacklers there. It looked like it was intended for Finley, who caught it. But again, in that area, Diaz, number 4, and along with Cepeda, number 34, providing some stoppage and some coverage with 1 minute left exactly left here in the third period. Arcia going all the way at quarterback tonight. There's a snap, looking right, has a receiver, and then he's rolled out of bounds, short of the first down, or is a first down. That was a second down play, and those 2nd and 5. Looks like he's get credit for at least 7 yards on the reception. It's a first down, okay, with 34 seconds now. Clock is moving. Lucas and, of course, Sanchez and the quarterback all looking back for the play call with 15 seconds left in the quarter. Lucas goes in motion. Arcia looking for Lucas. Oh, it's incomplete. Ball, he had it for a second, and then it fell out of his hands with 6.6 seconds left in the period. 42-20 is the score. And next week, speaking of the Eastern League, it's going to be the East LA Classic when Roosevelt will head to East LA College to take on the Garfield Bulldogs. There's Arcia now pointing to his players for their assignments where they should be. Arcia drops back, looks right. Oh, he runs out of danger. And still on his feet, heading towards the end zone. And let's see, did they rule him in for he's short of a touchdown, but good enough for the first down. So Ernie Arcia showing again, not only can he pass, he can run, as he's done it all night. And then speaking of Southgate's next opponent, they're going to take on the Huntington Park Spartans at Huntington Park. So, let's see, was there a touchdown? Okay, there's timeout taken on the field. Yes, that's the end of the quarter. So we're going to line them up at about, let's call it the 5-yard line when we resume play. This is East LA Sports Scene. By the 5-yard line, we can't see the exact spot of the ball, but there's Arcia out of the T formation. Looks like he wants to take it on a quarterback keeper. And let's see, no signal yet from the judge's side judge. So he's short of the touchdown. So we're now officially into the fourth quarter of the game. It's 42-20, and Southgate again looking to add on some more points here. There's Arcia, pitch, and it's going to Carlos Sanchez for the touchdown. That's going to move the score now 48-20. And that comes with 11:21 left in the game. So the point after is coming by Mendez. And there's the snap and the kick. And that looks good. It is good. So score on the board, 49-20 in favor of Southgate. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, there's a whistle now. Special teams on the field. The kickoff's coming from number 17 tonight. He's been extremely busy for Southgate. That's Pedro Mendez. Here's a kickoff sailing towards Hernandez, number 3. Trying to find an opening here. Around a couple of tacklers. And then just whirling dervish spins himself up to the 50-yard line. So a beautiful run back by Brandon Hernandez. Give him credit for that. It's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Riders. (49-20), 11 minutes and 12 seconds left in the contest. Riders have been very, very good at certain points in the game here where they had their offensive rhythm going. And let's see what they do here for the 4th and final period, whether they're able to generate a few more touchdowns and close the scoring gap. And there's a screen out there to the running back, or to his receiver. Let's see who that was. That was Ethan Lopez, number 7, on the reception. Then he was hit hard. It's going to bring up 2nd. Let's call it 8. A long 8. There's Reynoso dropping back, looking in the middle of the field, and they're going to rule an interception. And one of the players here for Roosevelt has gone down, number 72. For the Riders is down on the field, Alan Hurtado. Looks like they're going to have to, the medical team is going to have to attend to him, but there's a change of possession on the interception by Southgate, and that comes at 10:33 left. We'll be back in a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, change of possession, back to play. And this is Sanchez bobbing and weaving, gaining big yardage. No huddle offense for Southgate. Clock running. I'll check that. They moved the chains. Clock stopped just for a moment. Okay, change of quarterbacks now. For the first time coming in for Southgate. Number 12, Andrew Gallegos. Gallegos on the belly series gives it to his running back. Still going until he's run out of bounds. That was Sanchez. So taking a look here at Andrew Gallegos. He's a sophomore. And again, Sanchez turning on his jets and getting himself downfield in a hurry. Clock stopped with 9:51. On the first down, they move the chains and we're ready for action again. Wideouts to the right, Jenkins. Gallegos. At quarterback. Gives it to Lucas. Number 22 is a running back. And he gets tackled in there by number 29. That's Giovanni Delgado. Clock moving now with just 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. So Southgate showing its dominance here via the air game. The air attack has been proven very, very valuable to the Rams tonight. Gallegos has the receiver, the far end of the field. We couldn't really make out who was the receiver on that play. It might have been Lucas. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5. In the backfield now with Gallegos on his left is Sanchez, on his right Will Lucas. There's a snap, gives to Lucas, coming to the left, trying to get around end. Oh, then he's knocked down. Beautiful one-on-one tackle there by Matt Diaz, who's had himself a very good game on defense. And the clock will continue to run here. It's going to be 3rd. Let's call it 3rd and about 5. Clock running at 8 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game. Gallegos seeing action here in the 4th quarter, number 12. Dropping back, he's got a receiver, bubbled it, juggled it, dropped it. Pass was intended for number 1, Jenkins. Incomplete, clock stop with 7:45. So that was a 4th down play. Don Marker had it at 3rd. Apologize for the error on that, but it's going to be 1st and 10 for Roosevelt. Okay, the Riders come out for 1st down. Let's see, ball spotted at about the 30-yard line. And Cruz. It's a running play, and driving the pile forward for extra yardage is Frankie Cruz. He's going to pick up about 8.5 yards on the carry. Reynoso at quarterback, number 12, first name Raymond. Araujo, number 14, flanked out here wide to the right. Reynoso has the receiver there. And he's going to carry it out of bounds. That was Hernandez, number 3 on the reception. Enough for the 1st down. So the Riders playing a short passing game. Picking up yardage in chunks, but enough for 1st downs and manages to maintain possession. Cruz with the give. And he picks up, let's give him a couple of yards on the carry. Clock winding down with the 6 minute and 40-second left in the contest. There's a snap. Reynoso looking over here in the flats, got a receiver. And that's Lopez. And then he's going to be dropped out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Molina, number 15, give him credit along with Jenkins. They ran him out of bounds. 1st and 10, though, on the hookup. Nice crossing pattern, 5 yards and down. And the pass was on the money from Reynoso to his receiver. Reynoso again here in the flat to Orajo. Trying to get out of bounds, and he does after picking up a few yards on the catch. Clock stopped with 6:06. Good camera view, good camera angle here from the 50-yard line on our press box perch here at Roosevelt Rough Rider Stadium. Here we go, Reynoso. And flag is tossed. False start on the offense. Okay, 2nd and 10 here for the Riders. Coach Cepeda going with a short passing yardage along with Frankie Cruz on the ground in the running game. So here we go now. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Riders. There's Reynoso dropping back. He's got protection on a slot pattern. And as a flag is going to be tossed, it was pass intended for Cepeda, but looks like it's going to be pass interference. And let's see where they spot the ball. Looked like the defender was all over the back of Cepeda as he was waiting for the pass to arrive. They're going to mark it from the line of scrimmage. And again, the referees in consultation, so it's been that type of a night tonight. And there's pass interference on Southgate. There's a signal. And then unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's see where they mark it now. It's going to be very, very advantageous for the Rough Riders to get extra yardage here at the end of that play. In the red zone here for the Riders, see if they're able to generate another score. First and let's call it 10 for Roosevelt. In their cardinal and gold with the white trimming on their uniforms, on the shoulders. Okay, they're going back to the line of scrimmage first. So let's see what the committee has decided. Here comes another round of signals from the white hat on sportsmanlike conduct. And now let's see how the mark-off goes. Wow. And there's extra yardage. It's almost a double. 30 yards and penalties against Southgate. So that's going to put Roosevelt in excellent scoring position. And here is the stand going to be taken by the Southgate Rams on defense. Reynoso dropping back for a pass. Oh, intercepted by Finley in the end zone. He's going to run it out. And there it is again. Finley just thwarting every opportunity to score and using his height advantage to leap up and catch those passes as a defender, which turns into an interception, and then he runs it out of the end zone. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Southgate when we return. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, the Roosevelt Rough Riders unable to capitalize on a huge situation there where it brought them down into the red zone after a series of penalties. Just gave them excellent field position, but they turn it over again on an interception. Okay, the play clock is running. Southgate has men in motion. And now there's confusion, so they'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more of East LA Sports Scene. Okay, we're back to the action here after the timeout. Southgate with the ball. Gallegos. Oh, it's underthrown there. Receiver not in the area, so it's going to be incomplete pass. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Rams. As we mentioned, the Rams on their schedule, they'll go to Huntington Park next week. And after that, they close out the Eastern League against Southeast. And for Roosevelt, they'll be taking on Garfield and then closing their season out against Huntington Park. Okay, here we go back to the action. It's a running play. And it looks like it might have been Sanchez on the carry. Let's see, he's still in the ball game. So we have Gallegos at quarterback. And then we have Sanchez at running back. Looking over here to the bench for the play, the call, for the play call. The clock is moving now. We're just at the 5-minute mark left in the game. 49-20 in favor of Southgate. Here is Sanchez again trying to find a seam, and he does. He's going to bring it out for excellent yardage on that carry. So give Sanchez at least a minimum of 150 yards on the ground, and it could be closer to 200 for the night's work. But a first down on that carry. Average yardage per carry tonight at least puts him in the 8-yard mark with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. Gallegos on a blitz by Roosevelt. And it's a running play. Sanchez got the call again and stumbled forward for a few extra yards. Give him credit for about a 3-yard gain. It's going to be second, and let's call it the long 7 for Southgate.
Let's go, boys! Fire it up! 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 Let's go, Southgate!
Okay, we're going to resume action here. Southgate in possession. 3 minutes and 52 seconds left in the game. Blitz here showing by the Riders. Pass overthrown. Pass was intended for Lucas, number 22. Clock stop with 3:41. In the fourth quarter of play here, we've seen a lot of activity, almost, let's call it here, mostly for Southgate. We have had Roosevelt put up a score or two, but it's been all Southgate tonight, 49-20. Gallegos airs it out here to the left side of the field, and dragged down after the reception is Finley. And he's going to be close to a first down. It's going to bring up 4th and let's call it 4th and 1. Oh, and now Roosevelt drawn off sides, number 58. A little too anxious to go in before the snap. That was Angel Garcia for Roosevelt. It's going to be 1st and 10. They're going to move the markers up. And here goes the clock. It's now starting to move. 1st and 10. Hand off to Sanchez over the right side, and then he's going to be brought down by a trio of Roosevelt tacklers, but not before he picks up 5 yards. 2nd and 5 for the Rams. Okay, Gallegos has a play from the coach or the coaching staff. Twin backfield there for Gallegos, left and right side. And Gallegos will keep it, and he'll be dumped. Good tackle there by Cepeda. Good tackle there on the quarterback. It's going to bring up 3rd, and let's call it 3 for the Rams. They look over to Coach Casagran for the play call. Same formation for Gallegos. Receivers out to the right and left. And Gallegos is going to give it to his runner. And that was Lucas. And he just got thrown to the ground by the tackler. That was number 4, Matthew Thayes. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3. Clock moving with 1:25 left in the game.
Get the ball, tuck it in, run. Get the ball, tuck it in, run. Get the
There's a snap,
tuck it in,
and it's going to go to Sanchez. Sanchez met head on there by Roosevelt. And it's going to be a check that. They're going to give him a 1st down on the carry. That was a 4th down play. And the Rams went for it. They're successful now. Clock stopped at 59.4 seconds left. First and 10 for the Rams. Some confusion on the Roosevelt side. The players had gone to the sideline. But the referees have already ruled it a 1st down. And there's a signal for the whistle for the game to restart. Inside of a minute left. It's 50 seconds and counting. And Gallegos now is going to take the snap and just go to the victory formation. There's the first knee. And let's see if they're going to allow them to have one more play or not. Clock is moving now with 25 seconds, and this will be the final snap of the game. And there's Gallegos, victory formation, takes the knee. Clock is winding down, and we'll call it now 10 seconds left, and now the teams will meet at midfield for the customary traditional sportsmanship handshake, signaling the end of a very, very competitive game here. Very good game to watch. And high school football here on this edition of East LA Sports Scene will come to a close on October the 20th, 2017. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, this is our post-game show. It's going to be very, very brief here because the final score up on the board, 49-20 in favor of the Southgate Rams. And with the win, they move to now 3-0 in Eastern League play. On the other hand, the Roosevelt Rough Riders losing a tough one here at home, and they now drop to 0-3 in the Eastern League. Keep in mind, though, the Southgate Rams Division I, the Roosevelt Rough Riders Division II, but they just happen to be in the same league here in the Eastern League for the LA City Schools School's CIF Southern section. So both schools will move on in conference play next week, but one of the biggest games of the season is right around the corner for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, as they will then meet their crosstown rivals, the Garfield Bulldogs, in the annual East LA Classic that will take place on October the 27th at East LA College. So that will do it for this edition of East LA Sports Scene. Thanks to Rico Cabrera Jr. for doing all of the videoing, and yours truly, Rico Cabrera, doing the play-by-play. So till we're together again, take care, and we will see you soon again on East LA Sports Scene.